Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for our August the 6th lesson of 2022 from A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students, the original edition, Lesson 218, which is a review of Lesson 198, Only My Condemnation Injures Me. And in that lesson, it talked about how only my condemnation injures me, but only my own forgiveness sets me free. So we don't need to live in condemnation. We can use our understanding of forgiveness to let go of illusions. Anything that doesn't speak of love is an illusion, because only love is real. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies our peace with God, or our peace in God. Okay, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Boy, he really wants us to get this down. Are you remembering to say it throughout the day as much as possible? Don't feel guilty if you don't. That'd be a condemnation on yourself. But do the best you can, and if you don't get it, well, you don't get it. You'll get it next year, or maybe you'll find another way to find it. But do the best you can, but don't put condemnation on yourself or anyone. It's my point I'm trying to make. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Only my condemnation injures me. Only my condemnation injures me. My condemnation keeps my vision dark, and through my sightless eyes I cannot see the vision of my glory. Yet today I can behold this glory and be glad. Only my condemnation injures me. My condemnation keeps my vision dark. You want to not see? You want to be able to have all the lights turned off where you can't see and can't make a reasonable decision which way to move? Well, just keep practicing condemnation and you'll be in the dark. My condemnation keeps my vision dark. And through my sightless eyes I cannot see the vision of my glory. Yet today I can behold this glory and be glad. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Okay, let's go take a look in our text reading. And we made it to paragraph 46 yesterday. Let's start in paragraph 45 of chapter 24, Specialness and Separation. And we're in section 6, the resolution of the dream. Okay, so we'll pick up there in paragraph 45. While you're turning there, if you want to follow along in your book, let me tell you about a Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Catalog bean. And beans are the Phaseolus vulgaris is their genus and species. An ancient staple crop grown throughout North and South America. Plant in spring after danger of frost and again in early summer for a fall crop. Plant in rows and space seeds 2 to 4 inches apart. And of course then it goes on to say the pole type beans do better with trellising. Okay, but here's a bush bean, a real common bush bean that a lot of people grow. Very easy to get at your garden supply. And that's the Blue Lake bush green bean. Blue Lake bush. This dark green bean has been a standard for over 40 years. The bush plants set heavy yields of flavorful pods that are tender and crisp. Developed in 1961 from the Pole Blue Lake. From the Pole Blue Lake is where it came from. Well, these are the Blue Lake bush beans. All right? Okay, let's go take a look now in our reading. Paragraph 45 of chapter 24, section 6. The Christ in you is very still. The Christ in you is very still. He knows when you are He knows where you are going, and he leads you there in gentleness and blessing all the way. His love for God replaces all the fear you thought you saw within yourself. His holiness shows you himself in him whose hand you hold and whom you lead to him. And let's read that again. His holiness shows you himself in him whose hand you hold and whom you lead to him. And what you see is like yourself. For what but Christ is there to see and hear and love and follow home? For what but Christ is there to see and hear and love and follow home? He looked upon you first, but recognized that you were not complete. And so he sought for your completion in each living thing that he beholds and loves, and seeks it still, that each might offer you the love of God. Well, he knew that we weren't complete, but he knew that our completion would be when we recognized his vision. So he sees for us until we can see it ourselves. Is that a good way to think of it? Maybe. Paragraph 46. Yet is he quiet, for he knows that love is in you now and safely held in you by the same hand that holds your brothers in your own. Christ's hand holds all his brothers in himself. Let's read those two sentences again. Yet is he quiet, for he knows that love is in you now, and safely held in you by that same hand that holds your brothers in your own. So we find our safety when we find our safety in our brothers and sisters. Christ's hand holds all his brothers in himself. He gives them vision for their sightless eyes, and sings to them of heaven, that their ears may hear no more the sound of battle and of death. He reaches through them, holding out his hand that everyone may bless all living things and see their holiness. And he rejoices that these sights are yours to look upon with him and share his joy. His perfect lack of specialness he offers you that you may save all living things from death, receiving from each one the gift of life that your forgiveness offers to yourself. The sight of Christ is all there is to see. The song of Christ is all there is to hear. The sight of Christ is all there is to see. The song of Christ is all there is to hear. The hand of Christ is all there is to hold. There is no journey but to walk with him. You who would be content with specialness and seek salvation in a war with love, consider this. The Holy Lord of heaven has himself come down to you to offer you your own completion. This is paragraph 47. You who would be content with specialness and seek salvation in a war with love, consider this. The Lord of heaven has himself come down to you to offer you your own completion, to offer you your own completion. Once again, you who would be content with specialness and seek salvation in a war with love, consider this. The Holy Lord of heaven has himself come down to you to offer you your own completion. What is his is yours, because in your completion is his own. He who willed not to be without his Son could never will that you be brotherless. And would he give a brother unto you, except he be as perfect as yourself, and just as like to him in holiness as you must be? And the last paragraph, 48. There must be doubt before there can be conflict. Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? There must be doubt before there can be conflict. And every doubt must be about yourself. Christ has no doubt, and from his certainty, his quiet comes. He will exchange his certainty for all your doubts if you agree that he is one with you, and that this oneness is endless, timeless, and within your grasp, because your hands are His. He is within you, yet He walks beside you and before, leading the way that He must go to find Himself complete. His quietness becomes your certainty. And where is doubt? When certainty has come. Wow, I guess we want certainty. He talks about how vision of Christ is our real need now. And you can see why it's our real need, because once we have the vision of Christ, we realize we're one with all our brothers, and certainty comes. And with certainty, we'd have no need for conflict, no need for doubt. Let's read that last paragraph once again. There must be doubt before there can be conflict, and every doubt must be about yourself. Christ has no doubt, and from His certainty, His quiet comes. He will exchange His certainty for all your doubts if you agree that He is one with you, and that this oneness is endless, timeless, and within your grasp, because your hands are His. He is within you. He is within you, yet He walks beside you and before, leading the way that He must go to find Himself complete. His quietness becomes your certainty. And where is doubt? When certainty has come. Okay, well, that'll finish that section. We'll be ready tomorrow for section 7, Salvation from Fear. Let's go take a look again at our lesson for today. Be sure you do your 2 extended periods. I find it, just for me, I find it best if I do my morning meditation just as soon as I can when I wake up. I get up, use the bathroom, maybe get a drink of water, but then just as soon as possible, read your lesson. Just read the lesson, maybe even before you get out of bed. But have your book beside you, read your lesson. Let it begin to shape your day and to bring that certainty that we all need in Christ. And then sit and do your 15-minute practice or longer. And then be sure to, and then I usually do it instead of waiting until right before I go to bed, which I'd sometimes do it, and I always do just a little short meditation even right then, even if I've done my 15 minutes earlier in the day, which I generally try to aim for about sunset. I feel like there's, it may be kind of one of my older teachings from yoga, but there's a certain amount of I don't know, energy or to ascend in your meditation at sunset. The old ideas in a lot of the Christian persuasions was Vespers. That was kind of a time to honor the Christ in you as the darkness falls, to have a kind of an evening get together and sing some hymns. Well, anyway, that's kind of what I try to extend in my life. About sunset or as it's getting dark, I like to have that second evening meditation. And then if I do that, I still make sure that I still have a little short period right before I go to sleep, even if it's just a moment. Read the lesson, give it a moment of quiet, even if it's just a minute. Okay, but anyway, but for today, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Only my condemnation injures me. My condemnation keeps my vision dark, and through my sightless eyes I cannot see the vision of my glory. Yet today I can behold this glory and be glad. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And I also mentioned the other day to be sure to use this for an idle thought. When you have a temptation to see things with condemnation or with anger or with fear or avoidance, whatever that negative quality is that comes up in your attention, be sure to say, well, I don't want this thought. Instead, and then practice your lesson, which today would be, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Only my condemnation injures me. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Let's go take a look. I know we've got maybe 5 minutes. We don't have to do this, But I find it so helpful when I look at some of the actual lesson 198, which is only my condemnation injures me. He hadn't required us to go back and read that lesson again, though a lot of times I do, and I would encourage you to if you have the time and it'll really help. But it's certainly not required. I'd like to make that point because we don't want to put so much effort on this that we don't do it. It wants to be within our reach. And so really, as a bare minimum, listen to these, and this would be like a bare minimum. Just listen to my 20-minute talk and write it down on a card so that you can do the practice periods throughout the day. And what more you add will just help you speed on and keep your peace even stronger. Okay? So lesson 198. Only my condemnation injures me. Injury is impossible, and yet illusions make illusion. And yet illusion makes illusion. If you can condemn, you can be injured. For you have believed that you can injure, and the right you have established for yourself can be now used against you till you lay it down as valueless, unwanted, and unreal. Then does illusion cease to have effects, and all it seemed to have will be undone. Then are you free, for freedom is your gift, and you can now receive the gift you gave. Condemn, and you are made a prisoner. Forgive, and you are freed. Such is the law that rules perception. Such is the law that rules perception. Condemn, and you are made a prisoner. Forgive, and you are freed. Pretty simple law, but can you do it? Will you do it? Is it valuable to you yet? Such is the law that rules perception. To forgive, you are freed, and to condemn, you are made a prisoner. It is not a law that knowledge understands, for freedom is a part of knowledge. To condemn is thus impossible in truth. What seems to be its influence and its effects have not occurred at all. Yet must we deal with them a while as if they had. Illusion makes illusion, except one. Forgiveness is illusion that is answer to the rest. So we don't really practice forgiveness in heaven, but it's our way to heaven. Think of it that way, because remember, in the dream, illusions manifest, or they multiply, and so, but that's not reality. That's a dream, and we're trying to learn to awaken from that dream by the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness sweeps all other dreams away, and though it is itself a dream, it breeds no others. All illusions save this one must multiply 1,000-fold. But this is where illusions end. Forgiveness is the end of dreams because it is the dream of waking. It is not itself the truth, yet does it point to where the truth must be and gives direction with the certainty of God Himself. It is a dream in which the Son of God awakens to His self and to His Father, knowing they are one. Forgiveness is the only road that leads out of disaster, past all suffering, and finally away from death. How could there be another way when this one is the plan of God Himself? And why would you oppose it, quarrel with it, seek to find 1,000 ways in which it must be wrong, 1,000 other possibilities? Is it not wiser to be glad you hold the answer to your problems in your hands? Is it not wiser to be glad you hold the answer to your problems in your hand? Is it not more intelligent to thank the one who gives salvation and accept His gift with gratitude? And is it not a kindness to yourself to hear His voice and learn the simple lessons He would teach instead of trying to dismiss His words and substitute your own in place of His? His words will work. His words will save. His words contain all hope, all blessing, and all joy that ever can be found upon this earth. His words are born in God and come to you with heaven's love upon them. Those who hear His words have heard the song of heaven, for these are the words in which all will merge as one at last. And as this one will fade away, the Word of God will come to take its place, for it will be remembered then and loved. This world has many seeming separate haunts, where mercy has no meaning and attack appears as justified. Yet all are one, a place where death is offered to God's Son and to His Father. You may think they have accepted, but if you will look upon the place where you beheld their blood, you will perceive a miracle instead. How foolish to believe they could die. How foolish to believe you can attack. How mad to think that you could be condemned and that the Holy Son of God can die. The stillness of yourself remains unmoved, untouched by thoughts like these, and unaware of any condemnation which could need forgiveness. Dreams of any kind are strange and alien to the truth. Yet what but truth could have a thought which builds a bridge in truth which brings illusions to the other side? Today we practice letting freedom come to make its home with you. The truth bestows these words upon your mind, that you may find the key to light and let the darkness end. Only my condemnation injures me. Only my own forgiveness sets me free. Only my condemnation injures me. Only my own forgiveness sets me free. Do not forget today that there can be no form of suffering that fails to hide an unforgiving thought, nor can there be a form of pain forgiveness cannot heal, except the one illusion which proclaims there is no condemnation in God's Son, and heaven is remembered instantly. Let's look at that again. Only my condemnation injures me. Only my own forgiveness sets me free. Do not forget today that there can be no form of suffering that fails to hide an unforgiving thought, nor can there be a form of pain forgiveness cannot heal. Wow, what a promise. Do not forget today that there can be no form of suffering that fails to hide an unforgiving thought. So suffering is simply hiding an unforgiving thought. Nor can there be a form of pain forgiveness cannot heal. Wow, forgiveness offers everything I want, except the one illusion, forgiveness, which proclaims there is no condemnation in God's Son, and heaven is remembered instantly. And I'm going to stop there, which is in the middle of the sentence. If you want to finish reading that section, I encourage you to go there. Except the one illusion which proclaims there is no condemnation in God's Son, and heaven is remembered instantly. Let me go ahead and finish the sentence. The world forgotten, all its weird beliefs forgotten with it, as the face of Christ appears unveiled at last in this one dream. Okay, we'll stop there since we're taking a little longer. I like to keep these around 20 minutes, maybe a little less if possible, which I haven't been very good at, have I? I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Only my condemnation injures me. Remember that. Don't want to condemn anyone because it comes back on you. It's like a boomerang. You throw it out here, but it comes back to you. So be sure to use your forgiveness to navigate through life today. And thank you so much for joining me. Until tomorrow, tell yourself often, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Only my condemnation injures me. My condemnation keeps my vision dark, and through my sightless eyes I cannot see the vision of my glory. Yet today I can behold this glory and be glad. Only my condemnation injures me. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me.